Hello, Cool. How are you? I'm very good. I thank you so much for coming by. I've also connected with you on Instagram because I've seen you came and connected with me. So when you get a chance, have a look over there so that you can see. And I'm sorry for whatever that was that happened because I have a lot of times when I do the lives, the videos have shut off completely. I am not getting a lot of notifications myself when people are going to be live or when they put up a new video. I think it has a lot to do with, internet and connections, and I apologize to you, my dear friend, because I respect and appreciate your friendship, and I wouldn't do anything like that. So I don't know what happened, and I thank you so much for being here. I'm glad that God has risen us both to enjoy another day and to enjoy positive, good friendships. I hope that when I'm on here and I speak that I don't say anything that makes anybody feel uncomfortable. Thank you so much. I am glad to hear that because we're friends here and we're building a good friendship and we all lean on one another and we also are all very important people and we're all special and unique and we all bring something different to the table. This platform is something that is awesome and it helps us all connect with different people around the world and be friends and be family like what God intended for us. I thank you very much. In whatever daytime or night or time zone that you're in, I hope it's awesome. Hope you take God everywhere you go and enjoy your life every day. And I like what you said. You said there's no bad weather. It's just bad clothes, and I like that because it's true. A lot of times it's how we dress to prepare for the environment that plays a big role in our opinion on how it is. You dress properly and you do what you have to do. Well, I tell you, even if I just had me and you talking, that would be perfectly fine with me because with how this goes with out here, especially with you two, we all have different time schedule situations, husband, wives, and jobs. So that's why when I come on, I try to come on, and whoever can reach out, they can. And if they don't, it's still fine. We'll work this out, and we'll make this thing do something. You know what I mean? We'll still have enjoyment. And I thank you for the opportunity to be able to meet you, for you to share your lifestyle. You have amazing intermenstrual talent. I love the way you build the beautiful woodwork that you have. You are a very cheerful person. I can tell you love life, very happy, very humble, and it's hard to meet people like that. And a lot of people, they smile more than they frown. And I'm not judging anyone because you don't know everybody's story. But yeah, sometimes the friends just come through at different times. And I realize with me, and for all of us, we're never alone because we have the spirit inside of us. I have times, sometimes I talk to myself, and it's not in a way to disturb anyone or to feel like I'm not together mentally. It's just that sometimes I'll say things like, oh my goodness, I forgot my coat upstairs. Or either that, I talk to God. And when I talk to God, I really talk. And it's not all just like praying and on my knees. I talk out during the day. Lord, thank you that I can walk today. Lord, thank you that I can see. Lord, thank you for your promise. Thank you for your word. I'm here to serve you, Lord. You know, and like I said, a lot of people are doing different things, and we just hope everybody's doing well. And if they can come through, they can. And if not, we understand it. And we're lucky to have what we have. Oh, thank you so much, Sydney. I hope you're doing well. I really appreciate it. And like I said before, people don't understand what support means fully or having each other's back when it comes to stuff. Sometimes you may not be able to do exactly what a person needs you to do, but you can do something. And what does something means? Okay, well, today is a day that Rruk is having a live video, but I won't be able to attend it at all because I have other events going on in my life and I cannot reach out to Rook at all on social media, on my cell phone. I don't have an extra computer, and I still keep Rook in my heart and my prayers. And that right there for me is enough, even if you can't show up. See, that's the thing with us. We have to accept people for what they're capable of. And then when you have some that can show up, and be there, that's good too. But I know that there's a lot of people, even with me having family all around the world and stuff like that, and me, I'd say, as people dealing with COVID-19 and other things that separate us, finances separate us. Job opportunity. People get married and move to different states, but when you know how to connect with a person for real on the spiritual realm, that's where the golden goose is at. You understand what I'm saying? That's where we get to where we need to go because our comprehension is different than any device, if that makes sense. And I look at it for what it's worth because you know that we're only capable. See, we're not God. No disrespect. God can be everywhere all the time, and with us, we can connect all the time and be everywhere spiritually. But sometimes it doesn't happen, and I never get on here with the lives or my videos and say, oh, I haven't seen Michael in a while. Oh, Michael's not doing right. Michael's not my friend because he hasn't watched my videos or come to my lives. That's not what life is about. That's not what YouTube means for me. I understand that I am fortunate to have you guys share your time with me. and I am grateful. So I understand and I get it. And also with me, I don't just come on here. The reason why I've been able to come on and be more verbal than normal, because I've had silent lives that I've never came on and said anything. And it wasn't because I was taking people for granted or I didn't care. It's because I couldn't, because I was working so deeply that I had to put a certain type of priority on certain things. Not that it's more important just to do my other job than who you guys are, but it's what life dictated to me for that day. But I have a different schedule now, so I'm able to come on a lot more verbally. But I would never take it for granted or feel any kind of way when you have somebody that can't come through, because this is not what YouTube means for me. Hello at the Hill. How are you? What's up? What's up? Thank you so much for coming through. I really appreciate you. I love the Witcher. You are good people. I like the way you come on and you share everybody that you know with us. I thank you for your friendship and your time, because this right here is not a game. Do you know that we only all have 24 hours in a day? Everybody can't expect you to watch every video, every live that you do. And with me, when I run long lives, one of the main reasons why I do is because people have different schedule, time zones, situations. You have kids, and I hope you're feeling better, by the way, because I know you said that you were still not feeling too good. And we're over here hitting the last tail of the turkey. It done got so bad we had to freeze the turkey. You know what I'm saying? But I appreciate you for being you. And I understand if I didn't see you for 3 or 4 weeks and I came and you were doing lives or videos, I wouldn't say, oh, well, he's doing the videos and didn't come to my channel. That's not how this worked for me anyway as a real person. I do what I can. I love all, and I like people to know that if I didn't come through, it had to be a reason for it, and I will be there, or I'm there in spirit, and I got your back. But folks get on here and they misunderstand the thing, and yes, nothing's perfect. It's only a journey. You understand? Life don't come with guarantees. It's what you make of it. And that's why I accept this thing wholeheartedly. And like I said before, whenever when I've done videos and I've had lives and I wasn't on there, because this goes quiet as well as me getting on talking, is because people have husbands, kids, jobs, lifestyles. They may want to get off, because I've gotten off the grid a lot of times, and some of the times that if I have a silent live running there, I may not come on, because today is rest day where there is no computers. I like to have days where we don't even turn on no TV, no PlayStation, and see what we can do without it. Not saying that there's anything wrong with it, doing this as much as you like, but I try to make sure that children, people, and me don't get programmed by material things, that I can utilize my time. Even if I want to jump and read the Bible, read books, get outside and walk, have this day be about chilling out and detoxing from any social media or anything, and put up a live or not. But it's about really trying to do the right thing and getting it in and respect one another. And I keep telling people that even though this situation with YouTube can be something lucrative, even if I never benefit in a financial way, the friendships that I made are priceless. And I thank all of you for everything, because this is how it goes. And do you know how brilliant this is for us to have this technology, that I can experience some stuff in Kenya and may never go there, because I have a brother or sister or friend from Kenya. And like I said, all of us are from different time zones. How you doing, Robert Springs? Thank you so much for stopping by. I really appreciate it. I hope you're doing well, whatever time, day and night, your time zone. I'm just glad to be here. And there's so much going on out here in the world that we all got to knuckle down and appreciate what we have. And I remember sitting here, and I had just mentioned to you guys, and I'm sure all of us have friends from around the world, different races, countries, color, time, all that. And I remember sitting here talking about God and then thinking in my mind, oh boy, I got to go in there and clean the refrigerator out. Now, I'm saying this and I'm speaking of God, mind you. And then you turn around and you just got through watching your friend from Kenya that don't even have a refrigerator, but yet you're complaining about cleaning the refrigerator. You see what I'm saying? How things can switch up in your head? So we have to be proactive and be appreciative and be grateful. There's things bigger than yourself. There's people in different situations than you. And sometimes just anybody that likes to pray or be thankful for anything, I always be glad even when before I get up, thoughts start coming in my mind like, thank you that I can see, thank you that I can hear, that I can walk, that I'm alive, that I got family, I got friends. You know what I mean? Opposed to, oh yeah, I'm going out, just because I can buy a new car today. There's more things to be grateful for, because something can stop you from getting that car, and it could be your health. So you have to be grateful that you have that, and that you woke up this morning. Because see, we don't know everybody and all things, and there's a lot of people that didn't wake up this morning. And I'm not talking about just somebody that was sick. It could be a child. It could be any kind of situation where a person died of natural causes, and it was a 6-year-old child. Anything could happen, and if we are grateful, that's how we get through this thing called life, because it's not always give me this, give me that, you this, you that. Enjoy each other, love life, have fun. What did From the Hill say? Brothers and sisters, amen, sir. Yes. I try to hang out with those ones who are just trying to live their lives. Yes. Yes, yes, From the Hill, yes. See, and that's exactly how I feel about it too. And I also have a lot of people that don't seem to understand that we all come on here, and you hope you meet the right people that are doing the same thing you're doing. And then I deal with people that do stuff different, but I mean, I don't want anybody to take it for granted, to think that I'm trying to take advantage of them because I'm trying to build numbers and I'm just chasing down some money. And I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with you doing this for a career if it's become something lucrative, but what I appreciate most of all about it is that people are caring enough and wanting to be friends with you, and then we all grow together and do whatever we want to do. And that's how that's how I roll, to keep it 100% real and to respect everybody. And y'all know that even if you're in the certain group or individually, we all cannot get around to everybody all the time. We only have 24 hours in the day, and we all are busy, booked and busy. And just because, like I said, because I have a lot of people that think, well, they're up and doing a video or live and they're participating in it, and I haven't heard from them in 3 days, but I watched 3 of their lives and 4 of their videos. I'm not going to be bothered with them. I don't think that's how, well, I don't look at it that way. You figure out what the problem is, though, and if you feel that that person is really not for you, then you can decide to move accordingly. And a lot of times it is that. It is a lot of people that pretend that they want to be a part, and they really don't care about you or your content, and they want to use you to help you build them up. And then we got some people that haven't been able to. They can't do it. I'm working another shift right now. I've been sick for 3 days, and I got so sick that I couldn't even get on the internet to tell you guys that I was sick, and I don't have anybody that could say it for me. And then, a lot of people, oh, well, they didn't do this and they didn't do that. That's not what it is for me. I'm here for a different reason. We all have to do what we can. Yes, yes, we do. That's why I keep saying when you get selfish it blocks you and blinds you. And then you disrespect other people and also yourself, because you're coming off inappropriate for the wrong reasons, when we're all just lucky to be able to meet each other and to have this kind of platform to hang out with people. Do you know how it feels to learn stuff from people from another country somewhere that you may never go or understand the lifestyle, because that's just not in the cards for you? And I mean around the world. I got people popping up. I'm from India. You understand what I'm saying? And then they feel the same way about meeting us. So, and then, our time is very important in how we do it, how we spend it, and how we treat people. And I always say, we just got to work together, come together collectively, and do it moving. And there's so much fun out here to have, and I know that a lot of people have different content, and then sometimes you may be supportive of somebody, but certain content that they have, it may not interest you, but you can still be kind enough to still back them up. Or if it's something that bothers you, then you may, because some people have triggers with certain things. Something that I could be doing on here positive may be a trigger for you because it's the same situation, but you haven't healed from it the way I have, and you're uncomfortable watching the video, and I can't say, oh, they didn't back me up. You don't know why they didn't. You just jumping to conclusions and being silly is what I call it. He says, I know what you mean. I've been fighting this stupid flu bug, yes, for a week, and for the last few days it's really started kicking me, yes. I am glad I'm coming out of it. Yes, yes, and see, that's another thing too. These colds and stuff that we have, they will swing you into a twilight zone. And I'm glad that you're coming out of it because see now we don't even know where's the end of this thing at. Different stuff with and everything is not C19. That's the thing everybody's always jumping to. Everything is not C19. There's still different types of flus out here. There's still types of common colds out here, and then there's certain viruses out here that we get like that linger long. I just learned here maybe probably about a good month ago that we have a real bad stomach virus going on, and I mean they're not letting us know on the news or anything like that. And what they do a lot of times when it comes to the FDA and news and stuff, they wait as long as they want to before they let us know. I know they don't want to start a public panic, but I would like somebody to let me know ahead of time so I can do things a little bit different. But they wait until half people dropping dead or whatever have you, and then they finally tell you. No, I'm glad you understand, Sydney. I appreciate it. And I know what it's like, you get these long-term illnesses that linger and linger and all kinds of symptoms with your breathing, coughing, fever, taste buds. We got a lot going on, but, the government or however we want to call it, sometimes, and I'm not going to get into that because I don't disrespect nobody with too much of that or too much politics and religion's too hard because some people just don't want to hear that. But I'm just saying we need to know a lot of things so we can do a lot of stuff differently. And what I've learned too, when you work in the medical field, you get access to information that they haven't told the rest of the population yet. Or if you're lucky to have a family member or somebody that know what's going on inside the hospitals and what's contagious out here that they haven't told us yet. And there is no magic pill or anything like that that you can take for these symptoms that we have with these flus and colds and stuff like that. You got to kind of go through it. I mean, you may have something that seems like, oh yeah, I was able to get a couple of hours of sleep, but the congestion in my chest is horrible. But I finally went to sleep. This hacking cough, my throat, my ears is ringing. I mean, and there's nothing bulletproof like far as what we can get out here. So I know how it is to keep dragging along with that. Then you feel like you're finally getting somewhere with it. Then another symptom pop up. You get that dry hacking cough that almost strips your throat. Now you think you got a sore throat if you didn't have one already. So I know how that is. Yes, and what did Robert say? Not to cut it short, but I'm at the doctor's office. I'm here for hours and I said, I understand, Robert, and whatever you're there for, I pray that if it's in your favor and things work out, or if it's something that's hard for you, that you can get through it. You have a good one, and I really appreciate you giving me some of your time because you are important, and I know you got things to do. Because that's how it is too. And a lot of folks don't know what your story is. Like if you come through here and like they say, well, I talked to her early, and you don't know my time zone, so that's kind of hard to figure that out. But I've talked to her throughout the day, and I know it's been 3 or 4 different hours, and this person's on YouTube because they ain't got nothing to do, so they think everybody's supposed to pop up, and that's not true. I have a whole full family, work outside the house, inside the house, feel sick some days, headache another day, grocery shop, laundry. I mean, come on. This world, as they say, the wheels on the bus go round and round. You understand what I'm saying? And you can be on the bus, a regular, a city bus, a PVTA type bus, and the bus may stop at every stop. But when you get on the plane, you're going to ride for a minute. You understand what I'm saying? We is up in the air, and that's another thing, too. A lot of us, we have to practice patience because of the fact that everything is not going to be quick, fast, and ready and jack in the box type of thing. We have to put our time and our patience, and that's one thing that I definitely have tried to work on myself is having patience. Good luck, Robert, having patience because I realized that patience really and truly is a virtue. And a lot of times we trick our minds because certain things that we want that we didn't have to wait for, we think we're running something. But in fact, there's going to be several things that happen in our life that you have to wait for. Just like you may say, well, you know what, I'm getting ready to head out the door, and I want to make me a cup of coffee to take with me because I got up late this morning and I don't have enough time to, make the coffee the way I used to. And then you realize, oh, my gosh, I forgot to put on my sock on my left foot. So now that means you're not going to get the coffee, and you're going to have to wait until you get your break at work or somewhere where you can get another coffee. You see what I mean? It's just little things like that. And those things are the things that make us say, ooh, wait a minute, yes, 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 that is true, And then, as far as our emotions as well, we have to try to tame. We have to try to tame our emotions, because sometimes your emotions will take you way out of character, and your emotions may make you feel worse than what the situation is, because we get up, hit the floor running, and we get so caught up instead of bracing ourselves for whatever the journey may be, and get the comprehension of, you know what, I can't run everything. Sometimes I gotta wait. Sometimes it's gonna be like this. And we're gonna use something, for example, right quick. You ever know how you ride around in a parking lot? It don't matter what store or place it is, and you finally find a parking spot, and a person see you getting ready to pull in that spot, and they jump and run and take the spot. You tell me we don't get ticked off. You tell me sometimes we don't want to let them have it. We want to give them the finger, flip the bird sometimes. Come on, let's be real. The thought crosses our minds. Patience is a test that I fail. I know, me too. My kids have taught a lot. Yes, your kids will teach you patience, because you have to. We can't live this life without it. I don't care how much money you got, how rich you are. I don't care if you say that I am ordering a jet plane because I'm a millionaire, and that jet plane better be right here, right now. But what if something happened where that pilot missed the flight to get to the plane? What you got to do? You got to wait, or you got to order another one. Money can't buy everything. I've known so many people that just because they're wealthy, it didn't keep them alive. You understand what I'm saying? They may have been able to get better medical care than somebody that don't have insurance, or somebody that have a lower insurance that doesn't do it all, but you still are affected by it. Because if that's what it's meant to be, you may get the top care. But at the same time, if it's your time to go, ain't no money going to buy you out of that. It don't go like that. And I just had remember years ago, President Carter, his wife, she just left here, left the earth probably about maybe, I think it's been about maybe a month or so, if not less, and she was 95 years old. But and she had all the money in the world, but she lived a good long time, and after a while, stuff happens. Let me see what this is. Sometimes I do lose it. Oh, don't tell me. Let me tell you, I can write the book on that. I'll have to go. Yes, yeah, good days and bad days, and just be grateful. Yes, that's what I'm talking about. It's going to happen whether you want it or not. It's going to happen. A lot of us have our children. We may love them, but some of their personality we don't like. We have to be real with it. We got some pets. You got pets that one of them like to go over here all the time and take a dump on the floor, even though you trained them. And you may get mad at your dog, your cat. You understand? You can have a hamster. I mean, I grew up with all kinds of pets like that. The mice and all that kind of stuff. They may not behave. Every time I put, some fresh litter, my cat always kicks the litter all over the floor. It doesn't matter where I put the box at, what kind of litter box, and you get upset with a cat. Yeah, you do. And then your kids. A lot of times we tell our kids what to do, but they do more what they want or what they see us do. So that's right there is perfectly normal, and it's part of life. And honey, I'm gonna tell you, I lose it. I flip this lid a lot of times. I've had stuff where I done argued back up with somebody else. I've had some negative thoughts in my head. And once again, that's where patience plays a role in how we conduct ourselves. And nobody can expect anything more, because we're only human. And that's the things that come out of us, because we don't have full control. We can only try to practice what we do and try to get better at it each time. Or when we flip off like that, apologize. Because I know that's why it's hard for me, if I wanted to start going to a certain type of church home, to find the right people. Because everybody is so quick to judge you, but yet they come and put a false presence in front of you, and then they do a whole lot of the stuff that they talk about you doing in private. And see, I don't like to be nitpicked and judged and called out all the time for every little thing. If I've done something wrong, even sometimes people can do something wrong to you, and they may not apologize right away, because they got to get themselves together. And then they may come back and tell you that they're sorry, and then some people are not comfortable with it. I had people that have done things to me that they're not comfortable with coming and saying they're sorry. In some cases, some people may want to give you a hug. I've had people write it down on a piece of paper. I'm sorry, I know that I was wrong. I don't want to talk about it, and I don't want to verbalize it. I'm sorry. And you say, oh, they should, after what they did, they could have did better than that. It don't go by that. It's what a person is capable of and what they want to do. And that's why I said with me, I fall all day long. You understand? I'm talking about all day long. I get up and go again. Get up, go again, because it's never going to stop being that way. And you never get too old to learn something new, because there's a lot of times that I thought things that I would leave behind because of how old I'm getting. And it's still happening. It's still happening. Sometimes if you don't get yourself right, you find yourself arguing with a child that you're trying to raise, and some of the stuff what they're doing is obviously you know that it's not right, and you'll argue with them instead of taking control of the situation, saying that I'm an adult here and I shouldn't be arguing with this child, so we're going to find a solution and we're about to shut this down, because kids will have you lose your cool in a minute. Yes, that's it too, and that's what I keep saying too. We can, control what we say, but I'm gonna be honest with you. Sometimes the tongue is the hardest muscle to tame for me. Sometimes I think it and don't speak it, and then sometimes it just kind of comes out, and I'm like, oh my goodness, did you have to say that? I'm talking about myself because it's the truth. I've had times that, and one thing about with people, sometimes people may not remember what you said, but they remember how you made them feel. And we also have to realize a lot of times when stuff happens and we apologize, we don't know how long that's going to linger with that person, because it might be something that's scarred for life, even though you didn't mean to do it to them. And they tell you that they accept your apologies, but it lingers. And it's hard. You say, sadly, I sometimes speak before I think. Normally, yes, and just being funny, but sometimes it's not so funny. Yep, and I'm going to tell you that's the same thing, too. I remember a family member here a couple of weeks ago here. I was in the room, and they walked past me a few times. They didn't say anything. And I said, oh, hey, you can't speak? And hello, you can't speak? And they had on earphones. You see? Come on, man. We know we can do better than this. This is a mess, a hot mess. You know what I mean? They had on speakerphone, so they couldn't hear me. Hey, Sydney. It sure is, Rruk, and we live in the world where everything is easy offered. Yes, yes. Lots of personalities in the world. Yes, see, and it's not. Oh my gosh, it's not. Do you know how many people that I misunderstood because I assumed that they were supposed to be a certain way because I wanted them to be a certain way, or because I'm a certain way that they got to be the same way. And in fact, I think if we were all the same, it would be boring. You understand what I mean? Because we all bring something new to the table, and if you don't have anybody with anything different to bring, it's going to be the same thing. And I know I see that a lot. And then I know that you got to call a spade a spade. Sometimes it is what it is. You know what I mean? People are, they say, well, people will show you who they are, and you should believe them. He said, I applaud your efforts for doing what you do. I hate to leave, but I got to go. Oh, go right ahead. Cool. Do your thing. I appreciate you. We always going to be friends. And like I said, come through when you can. And if there's weeks, months that you can't come by, we all know that the intentions are all good, and this is how we roll. I appreciate it. And whatever you get into today, stay safe, whole, and healthy, and have a good one. And I'll be coming to check, because I know you see that I come through for you, too. And you know what? This thing, I know a lot of people say it's easy before you, when you build up so many people that you may not be able to get through to everybody. And I promise you, it's getting hard now. It's getting hard now. But I promise you, I do my best. And then it's hard, too, because YouTube don't give you all the notifications of people videos or when they're going to do a live. So you got to kind of chase down. And then after a while, there's some people that you know on a regular in your head, in your mind, their name, and then some of them you don't. And that's not, and a lot of people get on these social media platforms, and then they be like, well, she spoke to them, or he spoke to them, but didn't say hi to me. Sometimes you can't remember everybody. And some people are new, and then there's some that you remember off the top of your head because they've been riding with you for months or a year, so you try to get across to that. And sometimes you don't have the time, especially when you're gaming, or you're working, or you're doing something in the background. You can't go down and look, hey, Frank, hey, Mike, hey, Sandra, hey, John, you may not have the time to be able to do that because you're busy, or it's too much to do, or you don't have another device that you can look at it because you're running a live yourself and you're not able to do it. What did he say? Tolerance, love. On the note, this is my time. I'm going to really, yes, and you're grateful. The presence of my life and all wonderful things it takes. Yes, Hilt, yes. That's what I'm talking about. I'm going to call you H. They got, I watched this show, CSI, and his name is H. That's the head man on there. I'm gonna call you H because I keep feel like I'm saying Hilden, Hilden. You know how we be pronouncing stuff wrong and be trying to get somewhere with it. I'm gonna be calling you H. Just like I got a lady, her channel is over 50 and fabulous. I call her 50, not 50 cents. You know what I'm saying? But I call her 50, and it's so much easy for me to remember. And then I have a person on here that I can't say his name right, so I take the last part and I call him Cool. And he said that's okay. He tried to show me, how to break down his name, but I still can't get it yet. So I say Cool, and he know I'm talking to him. I want to say later, Rruk. It sounds good. All right, H. I'll check you whatever you come through with, because I'll be riding. And I met a lot of nice people through you that come on when you be doing your lives, and I appreciate it. I respect you, and I hope you feel good and get better and have a good one, whatever time, day and night. And that's another thing I wanted to start writing down, like if it'd be helpful to, and I don't necessarily have to know people's business, their time zones and everything all the time, but, that's why I always say day and night or whatever it is, but we all have to be careful too. He said, it's okay, but you can't call me Logan. I know listen, that's don't start this. Don't start this. To Logan. I love that name. Oh my God, I love that name. I've always liked that name, Logan. It's a real, real nice name. Yep, and I keep forgetting too that I can call you Logan. Oh, you Sydney's up in Chicago, 8:30 in the a.m. What it do? What it do? I know. All right now, so you rocking in Chicago. All right. But yeah, that name I always loved Logan. And I forgot what I was watching. It's somebody, I can't even say the name of, my mind is gone right now. It was Holly Berry and all of them in there. Wolverine, Logan, yes, yes. Take care, okay, yes. Yes, I will be coming through to everybody too, because a lot of times when I'm sitting here in the live talking to you guys, I don't know what devices you're near, but a lot of times I go and hit you up while I'm talking to you in the live, or I just have your channel playing. And see, that's another thing too. Everybody's not going to do that. Everybody's not going to say, well, I got your channel running, why I'm doing this and that. Some people only have one device and they can't do it. And I'm learning for a lot of people out here that want to get monetized, that if you watch their lives or video and you're not able to be right there, that you have to put it very low, because if not, it don't count. I'm not sure exactly how that go, Take care, Sydney. I'm here working from my computer. We'll let your live run for a few hours. Well, I appreciate it, Sydney, and I thank you so much. And whatever you got going on today, I hope it works out and that you stay in good spirits and good health. Because, like I said, we don't know what's going on out here. You'd be fine one minute and get sick in the middle of the day. Anything could happen. You know, we're born in a dying world, unfortunately, and anything could happen. So have a good one. Sounds good to me, and I know if a lot of you guys got to head on and do what you got to do, I appreciate it, and I will always be around, popping in and out, and I got quite a few devices running right now for other people's channels and their lives, because see, people don't understand. Sometimes they're able to let it run to support you in that way because they can't physically be in your live to comment or to chat with you, so they do what they can because they still got your back. You know what I mean? So anything's better than nothing, right? I appreciate everything. Everybody here is such cool, good people, man. I wish that a lot of you guys that I knew, you know, around me, not just because, you know, we're real life here, but we're, you know, miles away from each other and can't say, well, I know a lot of people have meets and greets and stuff like that, but I'm just saying, you know, when you meet people like this, you wish you knew them so that, hey, we can go out to eat, you know, chill out, hang out sometime because you meet people that are amazing, you know, from around the world. And you know, we're lucky to be. Oh my gosh, to be able to be put together like this with people from around the world is amazing because a lot of us can't travel these certain places. A lot of us can't even make enough phone calls to be able to meet somebody. I had somebody from Russia, and not, and this is a regular basis. I got a lot of people from different countries that I probably would never even go to or never even meet anybody that comes if I'm in the United States at the time or not, because I'm global myself, so I know what that's like, you know, Puerto Rico and traveling around, but it can't go everywhere. You know, I had people from Italy, you know, and you could tell, like, you know, it may be day somewhere for you and night for them, afternoon, it depends on, and then also the time zone, just like in Canada, their Thanksgiving is celebrated before ours. So for you to be able to talk to somebody that's having Christmas while it's just a regular work day for you, it's exciting because you get to have some fun, an early Christmas, and then celebrate your own. You know what I'm saying? Real talk. It's the truth, though. You know. But I appreciate it. Oh my gosh, I appreciate it. And I know that all you lovely people got stuff to do, so I don't want to keep talking and, you know, hold nobody back from what they're doing. So whoever has a tap off there, I get it. And I'll be around in and out like I do. And I hope y'all all get to where you need to go because it's a good time. I really appreciate it. And I know that a lot of people are going to, you know, probably come on here and have some misunderstandings about some things, and that's okay because I had somebody that popped up in one of my lives, and I don't know who they are. And the thing is, it's not just what they do, but it's how you react to it as well. You got that right, Logan. I know exactly what you mean on that one. It's just what it is. And I keep telling people that because I know sometimes you have some people that pop up and they be saying some vulgar stuff, and that might be a 10-year-old boy or girl that's coming on there clowning around and being young and stuff. You know what I mean? So we got to watch how how we let people affect us. You know what I mean? Because there's a lot of stuff going on, and then some stuff you do got to set it straight. Because I know any of us here are not going to sit back and do a live or even on our channel that we may do videos on and allow somebody to come on there cussing and carrying on and being disrespectful. You go, you know, that's why they got to block and delete and stuff for a reason. You know, you let them slide because, see, I'm not the type that just, oh, a view is a view. Sometimes that view, you don't want to get paid for somebody that's coming out there saying F you to everybody, F the host, and a whole bunch of vulgar things or talking inappropriately. You're not going to want that. So we have to handle it when it needs to be handled. And that's the truth on that. And you know, like I said, some people are here, they don't care about nobody, and they gun running for some cash and whatever their situation may be. And, you know, that's on them. But as long as they don't disrespect you, it is what it is. You know what I mean? Because I have some folks coming in. Do you hear me? I had somebody come in one night and they were talking some nasty off the wall stuff that was, inappropriate. They need to be somewhere, where unfortunately to say it nasty or any kind of way, but in a sexual platform somewhere with all of that. And I'm not saying what they're doing is wrong, but it wasn't happening where we at. You get what I mean? And you can't let that person keep doing it. Just like in one of my lives, there was somebody, and I noticed that Bert, he spoke to them and said, "Wait a minute now, who are you? You got to stop repeating that. You got to stop doing that." And then I looked into the person, and Bert said, "I don't know him at all." And then also with me, I'm going to keep it real with you guys too. Everybody that I have that you guys may see on the page, everybody here is not from the Breakfast Club. You know what I'm saying? Everybody is not from the club. These are people that I've known before I even, ran across Bert, but it's also some people that I've known for a long time that haven't been very supportive of me and really don't care, about me. So I've been trying to wean those kind of people out, and I want you guys to be careful for subscribing to somebody because it's hard for you guys to know who's in and who's out. And I try my best to do the research if I can, and sometimes I'll ask Bert. But see, I was already popping with something before I started with him. So these are, a lot of people, because I've had some people that say, well, there's somebody that contacted me and they said that they seen me in your chat and now they're trying to subscribe. I don't want to be bothered. I'm not interested. I got enough people. I don't like their content, and I'm not saying that that's right to be, but people have their ways. That's why I said I don't just jump and, start, subscribing to anybody because a lot of people may not want that, and they'll let you know if you're around them and if you're coming from that club or not, the Modern Breakfast Day Club. A lot of folks there want that, and some don't. And then I know that a lot of lives that I've been in, people say, "Well, I'm going to shout out your channel." No, I don't want my channel shout out. Everybody subscribe to Sally. Nope, Sally says she don't want no more subscribers, and hey, it is what it is, and ain't nothing wrong with that. See, yes, Sydney, that's another thing too. All this stuff is social media, but at the same time, we all are hipping people to stuff, helping each other out, teaching each other, learning from one another. We have been lucky to be blessed enough just to spread the word or tell somebody about something that's going on. And it may not be happening in your city, state, town, country, wherever you are, but it's coming. You know what I mean? So if you say, well, oh, we're at the Wild Wild West, they got a bad stomach virus going on, and you know anything like that is global because that spreads in the air. You know what I mean? Them type of germs like that, colds, flus, any of that. So you know to keep that in mind because you never know where it may come over to where you at, and just learn what it's like. And a lot of times too, when you watch people having more or harder struggle with certain things that you don't struggle with, it keeps you humble. And I don't know who all got to tap out, but I'm going to go on and tap out for a minute here. And I have a break right now, and I decided with my break I'm going to try to get me a bit of a cardio. Well, I got to do a few things because I like yoga and stuff too. Trying to get myself together here in a lot of ways, and I guess I'll get off for a minute here, and I'll check back in with you lovely people. I always appreciate you. I got y'all back as well. And let's keep rocking and rolling. Let me stop. Yeah. All right, y'all. Made me just so excited today. Nice, wonderful people. Hello, y'all. I see you guys are communicating amongst each other. Cool. And Sydney, I'm glad to see that. He said, I just found out that I recorded my cats in Africa when I was there last. Oh, that is awesome. Cool. That is awesome. I'm just hollering at you guys, and y'all know that this is y'all house as well as it's mine. Y'all get in here and enjoy each other. And let's mingle and do what we need to do. And, you guard your safety, your privacy, and your life, because I know that everybody ain't everybody. Everybody ain't good people. We have to be careful on here because, I got a few people that I know that, asked me a little bit about YT, and I don't really know much about YT. And what you're hearing now, you'll probably hear again because I am a repeat offender. I say things over and over again till I get it down packed, and sometimes there's different people that come in that didn't hear it. But we have to be careful of how comfortable you get with people less more than strangers. Folks are meeting people on here and only chatted with them 2 or 3 times and watched their videos and believe everything they see, and they're giving out their address where they live at. And, we have to watch out for all that. Oh, yes. You know what? I'm just grateful for all of us, you guys. I really am. And I just want everybody to really enjoy each other because we all know in the world what's going on here. And most of us on here are adults. But at the same time, we have to be careful because I know that I had one, well, not one, there's several people out here. I'm sure y'all have heard of stuff like this in real life and on, social media and YT. There was a girl that was disclosing too much of her information. She had made it known that she lives by herself with her 3 kids, and that she's doing this and that, and she's she's telling them. I'm just saying, for example, I'm in Oregon State. I live by we got 5 Walmarts in the park that I live in, and I live down the street from the largest one, and it's a super Walmart, and she's standing right outside her apartment building. You can see the apartment number. You can see her license plate number on her car, and this man came to her door. Do you understand what I'm saying? And it was scary, very scary. Yes, yes. He came to her door. And the thing, it was so sad too because she was coming out of her house and she had 2 little ones that were walking, and everybody, I believe the kids were under, the oldest one may have been 5. And then she had an arm baby that she was still breastfeeding and stuff. And when she came out her apartment, he was right there. You know what I mean? He was right there. And she said that because of how she had been raising her kids, she was lucky that the 2 that could walk kind of scurried behind her to try to get back in. Other than that, he could have snatched one of them. He could have threw acid on one of them, shot one of them. That's why, and I'm not trying to say that we can't trust people. That's not what I mean. I'm not saying that we don't have forgiveness and life and things, but we have to be careful. And there's, a few different people that I've been noticing that's joining in the group. And no disrespect for people to do what they want to do and will what they want to will. What is he saying here? Cool saying, yes, you are right. In my case, I am open book, so I do let people Google me. Yes, see, that's the thing. You know what you're capable of. You know what's okay. You understand? Just like when we raise up our kids, we teach them please and thank you, good touch, bad touch. You understand what I'm saying? But we have to be cautious and see if that's not like in an area where you want people to know. And one of our famous people too, I'm gonna find out from one of my family members because it's something that they be watching in the gaming world. But they had told, they got hundreds of thousands of subscribers, and they said, if any of you guys can figure out the map to where I live, come to my house. And it was a female, and she went to his house. I'm not saying that it's anything wrong. I'm just saying for those who don't know, be careful. You can't just think, well, because, I'm over here in Kenya and that person in America can't find me. That's not how it goes. Anybody can take a flight, especially when you're sick and you got negative intentions. And then we also have meet and greets where people coming from around the world to meet each other. I like your channel, you like mine, let's become friends. There's nothing, see, that's the whole thing. There's no right or wrong for anybody unless you say so. And see, that's the reason why I'm not on camera myself, because I didn't let strangers in, but people that I thought that I could trust, betrayed me. Also, I had an issue that came, about because of my job that got threatening and dangerous, and I had to take it to court, move, change your life, get a new car, start all over, buy property, let property go, having to rent again. It's not a game out here. And this is people you know. It could be a family member, a husband, an ex. You know what I mean? Or an issue that you had with a coworker or a client's family that you were dealing with that put your life in danger. But what I'm saying is, there's nothing wrong with that if you feel fine to do that. Just like a lot of people, they'll get a P.O. box. They'll get a P.O. box, and that works safe for them, and they're not worried about nobody coming to their door or anything. But I've had someone that a person told them that they're going to be sending something to their P.O. box, and that it's time sensitive that they pick it up, because within 3 days, because of how they paid for it to be shipped, you gotta walk, you gotta be at the post office to get it. So this YouTuber showed what post office that she goes to in St. Louis, where she lives at, and that person was there, I guess, 3 days in a row, because when the incident happened that involved, the post office having to call the cops for the assault and all that, they said that that person had been coming there for the last couple of days, trying to figure out. And I guess the YouTuber went on the third day, and that person knew that they set them up to be there between those 3 days so that they can come there and try to do harm. You see, so that's the stuff that I'm saying. It's nothing wrong with if you are, because, see, I'm an open book, but I'm not a dumb book, and I know when to close my book, too. You know what I mean? And see, when you have a situation that you can do that, hey, go for it. If I wouldn't have had the issues that I have in my life right now, I could open up a whole lot more. I can actually be on camera the way I like to fully. But whoever wants to do that, please don't misunderstand me. I don't want you to make it feel like, well, Dad, or now what am I doing? Because I'm fine with that. That's not what I mean. I'm saying for the ones that don't understand, or the ones that's doing things that can get them in trouble, not us. We all got specific issues in life. What did he say? I am like over water. Everything does not stay on top, and being so protective with our eyes on our for. That's right. Yes, we have to be careful, cool. That's what I'm saying. And see, the thing is, all money ain't good money, and we know that. You may come across some money that you got, and it's dirty money, and you're going to pay the price because you got that money under the wrong intentions. Things like that. But I'm just saying, for the people that I know something happened to, and it wasn't a good thing. I got another YouTuber that kept saying about where she goes at for the gym. She finally got approached. This person started leaving, flowers on her car. You understand what I'm saying? And notes on her car, and kept showing up at that gym, and she just kept going to that gym constantly herself, regardless of what it was. This person was stalking her online and everything. Never made it to her house, but one day she went to the gym with her friends, which I would have changed my location because it was dangerous. That person had started. Even the people at the gym said that person was sleeping outside and all that, and they had no idea why that person was doing that and where they was coming from, because nobody, that person never asked anybody specifically about this YouTuber. And finally, one day she went to the gym, and luckily she was with her friends. I'll kill you. I'll kill all your friends. I got a gun and all this. You understand? Come on now. Y'all think about what I mean here. It's serious business. Just be careful, and that's not just from strangers. You don't never know. Sometimes people in your life, I'm not saying to live your life scared, guarded all the time, afraid, don't trust people, cowering away. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm speaking about is common sense, and this stuff is in the Bible, but everybody don't know this. You have to be careful and tread lightly on what you're doing if that's the case that works for you. It doesn't mean that, just say, for instance, if I am the type of person that I don't mind everybody in the world know where I live, I feel fine, I feel comfortable, I feel safe. There's nothing wrong with that. But someone else may have a different issue that they're not comfortable with that. People can stalk you online. Yes, cool. And see, and I'm just making a joke at it because I keep calling you cool because I can't get your name right, and I know you're okay with that. But do you know that God wants us to love on one another? We want to be able to be out here and be safe and make friends, but everybody don't have the same intent. And a lot of people always are quick to judge men. Like, for instance, I'll just say, with like the shelters and stuff that we have in different states, countries, cities, wherever you are in the universe, they cater more to women and children and children, but they don't help out the men, the young teenagers, the young boys out here. Also, we have a lot of cases that people are quick to say that men walk away from their families, that they cheat on their wives, they hit their wives, they're not in their kids' lives, they don't want to pay child support. And when they say that about men, every man that they can say that do that, I can give you 10 women that do the exact same thing. It's not just men. Men and women both are capable of these things. Women have criminal minds too. They're not always this damsel in distress. So we have to be, keep that in our head to know that, listen, hey, it can happen. Do you know how many women that has been known to recruit other women for a rape situation with their partner, or they are gathering for sex trafficking, even kids? And some of these women are victims themselves, and some of them are willing participants and want to see this happen and help it occur. So we got to be careful. We also have to, and like what I'm saying right now, y'all may hear me go back over it again in this video or another time or when somebody else pop up so we all can relate to what the conversation is. But we have to look at it for what it's worth. You could have, and like I said before, people don't understand the real meaning of being like your child's godparents. You understand what I mean? Or the real meaning of being brothers and sisters and real friends. Now, I'm not going to lie. I know back in the day, especially when you look at the stories in the Bible, and there's a story with Bathsheba. She was a young girl that was bathing on the rooftop. And she was only like, I think, between 12 to 14 years old, and the king saw her. Now, he was supposed to go out and be a part, be there when they battle, even if he's not on the front line. And he decided to stay home that day. And when he stayed home, he seen this young girl bathing, and he knew that it was one of his soldiers' wives. And he ordered the girl to come there to be with him, and he had relations with her. Back in them days, you got married 12, 13, 14. Even now, not even back in them days, it's what you believe in, your tribe, your family, your friends. If you feel that your daughter or son should be married at 12, and then in the United States they say it's incest or rape or whatever, it's what you believe in that you're doing that's right, and can't nobody judge you. But see, it's a different story between tradition. Like I know some families in different countries that, we are best friends, and when we grow up, let me see, he said, it's called taking advantage of. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, cool. Exactly. You are raised up because you are going to marry so-and-so's son. So that child is promised for that marriage, and they marry at 12, 13, 14. That's what people do with their country, their religions, their beliefs, and we cannot judge that because that's up to them. But, in different states, countries, cities, or town, people participate in stuff like that differently. But anyway, he ended up getting involved with this young lady, and while he was doing this, her husband, which was his soldier, was at war, and he was, laying up and lusting with this young girl. And it was okay to be with young people because they were able to get married at 12, 13, 14 back then. But what happened was the girl ended up getting pregnant, and she knows and her husband know before he left for war that they weren't in relations. She had her woman's cycle, so there was no way she could be pregnant by her husband. Are you listening to me? This is a story that's true and real in the Bible. And it centers around Bathsheba. You understand what I mean? And what he did was when they came back, he ordered his soldier to go spend time with his wife Bathsheba, hoping that they would have relations so that she could blame the pregnancy on her husband. Well, the soldier said that I don't feel comfortable leaving you. I'm your loyal servant. He was saying this to the king, so he stayed around. He wouldn't go and leave to be with his wife. So then the king started trying to think of what way can I do to get out of this, because she's pregnant. The husband came home, but he hasn't spent no time with her, and he's going to be going right back off to war again. So how can she blame it on her husband? So what he did was he arranged for his soldier to be in the front line of the battlefield so that this man could be killed, and then he can take on the woman as his wife and cover up that to make it look like I took on my soldier's wife because he was killed in battle, and I'm going to take care of her. You understand? And with that being said, he hid that sin for a whole year. You know what I mean? He hid that sin, and he was in relations with her. He married her and had her, but he had several wives. And they had the first child they had died. And he ignored it and had to repent. David's one of the grandparents of Jesus Christ did this. See, that's why I was talking. Here we go. Yes, yes, yes. Amen. See, that's what I'm telling you. That's why when I say this stuff, I say parts of the story to try not to make people feel that I'm overdoing it and cut to the chase, and then also let people fill in the blanks if they understand what I'm talking about. But yeah, so with that being said, David, you already know. I knew you would know. Cool, I knew you would know. Anybody in here could possibly know, but cool, I knew you would know. And that's what ended up happening. And he went a long time without dealing with that, and finally God, got in after him about it, and he had to repent for that, and he was forgiven for it. Do you understand what I mean? So we all have to have forgiveness, but you got to know which way to go about it. You got to know what you're forgiving, and you got to go about it the right way, because there's some people that you can forgive and leave it like that. Even sometimes it's family. You can forgive and leave it like that, where you're not holding any hate in your heart, and they're not feeling like you're condemning them and that you're mad at them, but you got to love them from a distance. You understand what I'm saying? And a lot of people don't get that. And people don't seem to understand that this type of stuff is, as long as we're living on this earth with this sin and the bad stuff that can happen, and we don't form a relationship with God so that we can be seen differently than the rest of the people, we're going to have to endure this, because this is not the promised land. We got to go way further, but we have to be able to endure this. Do you understand what I mean? You may be praying for something that you need, but you're not going to get it, because God is using you to help someone else. Your time will come, and you have to understand that. It doesn't make anybody better than you, or that God's favoring you, because he loves us all the same. Women, men, children, all the same. Starving, rich, poor, in between, he loves us all the same. And until we get that, and see, that's when that jealousy, the jealousy wants to come in there and brainwash anything positive that God is teaching you. And see, people don't understand there is food for the soul. There's food for the soul. And a lot of times when we eat food, a lot of people lust after food. And there's nothing wrong with saying, oh, I can't wait to have me a slice of, that apple pie. There's nothing wrong with that. But when you are using it in a way of glutton, and eating crazy, don't care about your health, don't care about if you saved enough for somebody else, and don't care about if you helped somebody else out and you didn't buy that pie for yourself. You gave that money for somebody that didn't have anything. So now you don't have a pie. We have to be selfless. And that's the thing that I'd like to meditate into more, because as I said before, I sit here with you guys and I'm talking about this, and I'm going to make probably 100 mistakes today, but it's what I do about it, and I repent, I learn from it, and I start again. Because this is not guaranteed. The Lord knows how tempting the devil can be. The demonic spirit, what do you think he told Adam and Eve when they were in the garden? Well, how did that serpent have so much power over God's word? That's because we are tempted in the flesh, and it's hard to tame the flesh. Our spirit is something different than our flesh. That's why a lot of times when stuff happens, and I'm going to tell you guys, I had a hard time with a lot of things, like burying kids in the family and babies, and, people that that really were truly good died, and then you got this person that's a pedophile, that's raped and murdered somebody. Why are they alive? God has a plan for our lives. And if we knew everything, we wouldn't need God. You understand what I mean? And a lot of times we ignore that part, and we only hear what we want to hear, because we're not seeking God's face. We're only seeking his hands. Sometimes you don't have to always ask for something. Be grateful for what you already have. And I try my best, because he does say, ask and you shall receive. But at the same time, do you ever thought about it to say, enough is enough? I have enough right now. I'm okay right now. I got a headache. I don't have to run and try to take pills for it all the time. I ain't got to run to the emergency room for everything. Sometimes a prayer will solve those problems. You meditate in the word. Sometimes you say, oh, I got a headache. Let me go take a Tylenol. Sometimes you can put a warm compress on your head, a cool compress. Sometimes you need to eat. Sometimes you're dehydrated. You need something to drink. You don't have to go pop a pill. You got to remember what stuff processes through the liver, what processes through the kidneys, and what kind of damage you're doing to your health when you're taking a lot of medications as well. I do a lot of old herbs and remedies that we put together just from simple household ingredients, just from growing your own parsley, which you can use that to do to heal a wound. You understand? Everything is not going to feel good just because you're walking with God. We all have to deal with some of this stuff here so that we can make it to the next level. And a lot of people are feeling like you don't have God because you're not getting everything you want. And that's not what it is. He will meet you where you're at. And things that happen to our physical body, whether it be cancer, losing our lives, losing an arm or a leg, that never affects the spirit. The spirit does not have cancer. The spirit is not missing a leg or arm. You understand what I'm saying? And see, a lot of people don't get that. They're so quick to worry about, well, God seen that I've been walking a mile to work and walking a mile back, and then when I get home, we don't have no hot water. How can that be a God? How can that be a God? If you have that many questions, you need to seek him and ask him so that he can tell you. You need to believe in something greater than yourself and circumstances. And see, that's the thing that we all struggle with, because I do too. I do too. And it's every day, and you got to fight that force. That's why Jesus went to the cross for our sins, because he knew that we couldn't do it. Ask and you shall receive. And sometimes what you're asking for is not what you need, and you have to be careful when you do that, because a lot of times, like I said, you'll say, well, I know that I needed this, and God knows that I've been having this problem. Well, he knows that, and you're having it for a reason. Everything that we have that's happening to us, good or bad, is not wasted. A lot of stuff that we go through is to prune us for our journey. You cannot have love without hate. You can't say somebody's pretty while somebody's saying somebody's ugly. I think we're all beautiful. I don't think there's nobody ugly. A lot of their attitude and character can be ugly, but I don't think anybody's ugly. But I'm just using that for example. And then we also have the in-between, good, bad, and then the in-between. Who am I? What did I do? How did I act? Do I face it myself and say, well, you know what? What did I do wrong today? Why am I blaming somebody else? Am I in my own way? And I'm telling you, that's the thing constantly. I get there seriously, and I look in the mirror at myself. I've had times, when you're trying to deal with God, and you got kids and husband and wives and people that want your attention, and God is more important. They can wait. Even if you got that baby in there and that baby is crying because they need something from you, if God is calling you, he knows that child going to be all right. He knows that. I'm talking to you. I am the King of Kings, Lord of Lords. I'm your father. I'm your baby's father. I'm your mother's father. I'm your daddy's father. I'm your aunt's father. The King. And when the King speaks to you, you answer. When the King calls you, no one comes before him. And that's the thing that a lot of people don't understand, because they're not in it. They're not in it. And I have so many people that, excuse me, when you come on here, and you're speaking about church and stuff, everybody want to tell you that their religion is right and better than yours, or what you should do or what you shouldn't do, blah, blah, blah. And it doesn't go by that, because we only have one God. You could be purple, green, yellow, different nationality, different race. If we all say that we believe in God, what does that make us? All brothers and sisters. Hallelujah. Let me read what you got here. Who there is a higher energy. Most people call him or her God, and reflecting, yes, live sign, and reveals the knowledge more and more. Yes, see, that's the thing. And there was so much stuff going on with people kind of worship false gods, false prophets. They had a ram that they were worshiping over God. When Noah told the people that God told him to build the ark, and it's going to rain 40 days and 40 nights, the people that believe in God and truly believe, because he's going to flood out the earth. You understand me? How many times have he done, he had to do things like this? How do you think that God feels when he promised, when he created the earth, and then he made Adam, and then he created Eve out of his rib? How do you think he felt when all that he gave them, which was paradise for everlasting life? How do you think he felt when she brought sin in? You understand what I mean? The Lord has to be hurt by that. You know what I mean? But he went on. What about what happened in Sodom and Gomorrah? Come on. We really got to look at this, understand this. Just like when I was in school. And, a lot of times they don't want you to praise the Lord in school. If you have a religion and you have to dress a certain way and wear turbans and stuff, they don't want you to represent God in any kind of way. They don't want you to pledge to the flag. So when that happens, you can't give up on that. You have to do it where you can, because the system has a right of doing what they want to do, which I think some of those things need to be in school, because kids need to be taught. Just like the young ones in my family, They learned a lot of stuff from school, but I worked with them on it. And also, school is not going to teach you everything. The morals and values begin at home, and first of all, with the Lord Jesus Christ. We learned that from right off the bat from that. But they didn't teach, like with my family members, a lot of them didn't learn how to balance a checkbook. They don't teach that in school. They don't teach you to love God. They may speak, behave, don't hit Michael, don't hit each other, don't fight, don't argue, but they don't bring God into it because it's not allowed anymore. There's so many people that had to go to court to be able to wear certain clothes so that they can attend school because that was what their religion is. I mean, everybody got different types of denominations. Some people are Pentecostal, Baptist, and with me, I just consider myself as a Christian because, as you were saying, the higher energy, you understand what I mean? That higher energy is greater than anything that we have in the flesh. And when I say the flesh, I mean our hands, arms, heart, liver, kidney, all of it. This is stuff that is a part of this life that didn't turn out the way it was supposed to. So with that being said, this all has to dissolve. The body has to dissolve. And they said that from ashes to ashes, dust to dust, and God will give you beauty for your ashes because that's what happens. And that's how I taught myself, but it was God teaching me and how I learned how to listen, I should say, to what God is telling me because I always felt so bad for anybody that passed away. Oh my gosh, they're in this box underground and rotting away. But that's not what counts. It's our soul, our spirit. What's he saying? I think it is the other way around. See, you did not bring in sin. It was sin into paradise, and we man all. See, that's a double-edged sword, too. I understand what you mean, too, because I know that they always put things for the man. And see, and I'm going to tell you, and that's the reason why I said it the way I said it just now, because that's how I was taught to look at it. But at the same time, I felt like Adam was a man that came home to have dinner that his wife prepared for him, and he trusted that she was giving him the right food, the right something to eat. So I get exactly what you're saying about that. Cool. I believe in that too. I believe exactly what you're saying too. And he kind of got, tricked into it because he didn't know. He didn't know what she was doing. He just trusted and believed that she was preparing something to eat like, she always has. But they always keep saying Eve, and the reason and why I say it too is because that's what I learned, and I know that it's not fully that, but kind of fell into that type of thinking because of the way that I was raised and trained for it. But I see what it was, and a lot of times, things happen like that, and we are victims of our circumstance. So I get what you're saying about that, and see that, and that's good to be able to agree to disagree. But I don't disagree with you. I understand you fully and wholeheartedly. But the most people around that I've been around, they practice it as if Eve did everything wrong and he didn't do anything wrong. And I think that it was something that God knew was going to happen before it happened. That's why He let you know why He let them know what the temptations were going to be so that He can prepare them so that that doesn't happen. But even though God knew that it was going to happen, He had another plan. And then they had the two first kids, Cain and Abel. One brother killed the other brother. And the one that survived, he did not make him suffer in that way, but He banished him away. And most likely he still made it to heaven, because people don't understand that just because you've sinned, it doesn't mean that He doesn't forgive you, but it doesn't mean because God is forgiven that we can keep sinning. But you are right, and every time I try to touch base with that, what you just said about, you put some of that there towards Adam as well, and not blame it on Eve. Nobody wants to hear it from the religion standpoint of what they believe in, so I kind of just keep it quiet, and like I'm discussing it with you because you understand fully what that consists of. But we got some people that get just shut down and locked down. And the pastor was just saying, I'm trying to think about a couple of days ago, the pastor was just saying the same exact thing, about Eve. Everybody keep blaming Eve, but what about Adam? You're the man. You're supposed to see, and that was the first person that I really heard say that the other day, but this is not the first time I heard the pastor say it. And you, out of all these years that I've been here, you and her, and I thank you for reminding me to keep that first place, because I always allow people to knock down that thinking when I said, when I say this, but that's exactly what it is. I'm glad that you disagreed and you brought that forth because that's the truth. Yes, yes. See, that's the reason why too there wasn't a lot of real workers because we're supposed to be in paradise. You understand? That's you're right. You're absolutely right about that. It was supposed to be paradise. And when I say that, far as Adam, I wasn't saying it either to say that he came home from work like a physical job. I'm just saying he's doing whatever he's doing, and then when she prepares whatever they're having to eat, that he trusts and believes that she was serving him right. You know what I mean? But in a lot of cases, we all have different beliefs about different stuff. But I know when the pastor said that part about why are they blaming Eve for it, and it's hard too because a lot of folks don't look at the other side. They're viewing it from a small point of view, and sometimes people don't realize that when you speak to people, you have to be careful what you say because sometimes you can change somebody's life with telling them something wrong because you got it wrong, or saying something to them that may hinder them. And I've learned that too, to watch what I say and be careful because sometimes people, you may be the only time they heard anything about Jesus Christ through you. So you got to make sure you know what you're saying and you're guiding them in the right way because I try my best to be careful too. That's the reason why I don't go too deep in it because I don't want nobody to misunderstand me. Yes, it has been a narrative. Yes, yes, cool. Yes, it always has been, and it's hard too because I'm going to give you an example too. I was um I was in this person's live, and they were saying, there was a minister in there and everything too, and quite a few people that say they're serving God. And the person was saying that somebody did them wrong, and that they wanted to address the person about, what the person did wrong to them. And everybody, don't give the devil a foothold in your life. Don't bow to the devil. Don't. That's not what was happening. Even when she said that, I typed in the comment section. I told her I understand how you feel. And when I said that, everybody came like they wanted to just go in, but they don't understand that I'm not saying that you have to handle something negative with something negative, but I understand when you want to because I'm human and I make mistakes. I understand how you're feeling, and a lot of times we have to take the high road, and then sometimes God is telling you to go to this person quietly and see if y'all can resolve. And then a lot of times God will tell you, leave it to me. Or if I say go resolve it, it's because I'm going to give you the tools to do it. But with these people, they start all of that stuff with telling you, just like with a lot of churches, you watch a lot of these, and I'm not disrespecting or judging anyone, but you see these big mega churches. People are dressing up, with the high heels, the lipsticks, the short skirt, the tight bras, going to church. I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with it, but I wouldn't feel comfortable going to church that way. I wouldn't feel comfortable going to church with clothes that I can go into a bar with, in a strip club, and street stuff. I want to come humble, and that church can be anywhere. I just met a lady that was 81 years old in a grocery store, and me and her had church right there in the grocery store with people walking by us saying, excuse me, move out the way, and me and her had a church service right there. So it's not just everybody think folks in church is saved. Everybody in church ain't saved. And I think that we have to put a certain level of respect, but I think people can do whatever they want to do. But I know with me, I want to be formal, more formal. And then I know there's some churches and stuff, and I know like when my mom, first married my dad, they're coming from different races, upbringing, nationalities, and, she was an old school country girl, but at the same time, she had a certain way that she dressed, which was appropriate. They never wore nothing above the knees, that type of thing. But he wanted you covered all the way down to your ankles. Not hold your head up high when you're out in public. And she wasn't from that. It was different. There was nothing wrong with what he was doing, but he had to find the right partner that practiced that same faith and religion because I think people have a right to be whoever and whatever they want to be. To a certain extent, because if we get out here and try to do whatever we want, you break the law, you go to jail. So I'm not saying it like that. You just do what you want and don't care because that's not allowed. You got to be careful. There's laws in place. There's jails and court systems for things of that. But I'm just saying, Some people have a right to be who they want to be, and just because I spoke to this person and said, I understand how you feel, that you wanted to go, your first thought would you want to go tell her off. And that's not right to go about it that way. But if that's what you felt in the moment and that was your situation, I understand. But if you don't have to, don't. And these people, oh, you don't tell nobody to do nothing negative. That's not what the conversation was. We can't be holier than Christ, people. We can't out church somebody just because we believe. And that kind of lies like that, sometimes it makes me not want to go to it, because a lot of those people, they go too far, and they're not even being human, and they're too judgy. You understand what I'm saying? If you have somebody that came into church and they had alcohol on their breath, what do? You're disrespecting them in front of everybody, or are you trying to help them with the problem? That's the thing that I'm saying. Are you hindering or are you helping? Because that person may have came into church because they, had a problem and started drinking back again, and they came to God to try to help them, or they were suicidal. It could have been anything. And then when you reject them like that because you're a Christian, you're smarter than them, you're really serving God, and they're not. You're better than them. You never made a mistake. You cast a stone. The one to cast the first stone at someone when you have a history, in fact. You have your hidden secrets. We may not see it as mankind that walk around, but God knows it. And you've been hiding it from somebody, from people, but yet you are quick to judge someone that is showing themselves and being transparent. There's a big difference between that and keeping it real. And people are going to make mistakes. And see, that's what that bothers me the most too sometimes. It don't bother me, but it's a thought and question that stays in my mind, is how people are so quick to judge you and they're not God. But when it's them, a family member, a friend of theirs, they have all the excuses in the world and they okay it. But when it's somebody else, and that sometimes these folks get to be that you can't do anything wrong. You can't do anything wrong. I just had we had a pastor a couple of days ago, and the pastor was, up on the pulpit and, preaching and stuff, and the pastor really could have turned their back if they wanted to, but they blew their nose right there in the middle of giving the service. And, a lot of people was looking at that some kind of way, and that the pastor should have turned their back, they shouldn't have did that in front of us, and that was disrespectful, and bop, bop, bop. Who's here to judge? Who's here to judge? And if you feel that it was wrong or right, you keep it to yourself, or you don't have to be here, because there's a lot of pastors you can minister to yourself. You can take it to the cross yourself. You know what I mean? But we're all here to teach, share, and learn from one another. But I know, because when the pastor did that, I was like, and that was it. It wasn't, oh, that was so nasty, and how could she do that in front of the congregation? She's supposed to be holy, and she ain't even got no manners, and judging. I said, you know what? Think about it. What are you doing? Who are you? Who are we? We have to pay attention to this type of stuff so that we're not so quick to cast a stone at somebody. Sometimes it's best to mind your own business. If you are not going to help a person and you're hindering them instead, sometimes it's best to just go on and mind your own business. Because a lot of times we get in trouble with getting into somebody else's business, or because we're paying attention to somebody else's business to where we don't even got our own lives straightened out, and maybe we need to look in the mirror or look at our family or our situation. It is what it is, And I try my best when I'm on these lives like this not to seem like I'm trying to preach or control people or think that I know everything, and also to stop talking sometime to give the people a chance to type in something if they want to help me with something or reiterate something. I try to do that too because I know we all have a voice, and we all need to help one another out. Just like with me, like a lot of times when I cook soup, sometimes when I make soup, I make the majority of my soup from scratch anyway. But I like canned stuff sometimes too. But you make some soup here, and sometimes the soup is not about how much meat, how much corn you got in it. Sometimes you just want it for the broth. You know what I mean? It's not meant to do that type of thing where you're going to sit here and get stuffed. I mean, we roll out dumplings by hand, and I know how to farm and all them different types of things like that. But I know that you prepare a bowl of soup for somebody, and the first thing they say, "Oh, they're so stingy. They didn't even hardly put no meat in it, or no potatoes or nothing." And what kind of soup is this? The thing is, you didn't read the menu. This was not a hearty soup. This was a soup that really wasn't even prepared with anything in it but made up for the broth that's been cooking all day. That you put in a pressure pot, and there's not going to be any meat in it. It's made for the broth. You understand? You want that bone marrow to come out. Hey, Toasty, how are you doing? Welcome, welcome. Thank you so much for coming by. Yes, I'm in here. We're cool, and we're cooling out. I hope you're doing well today. And we're just having such a awesome conversation here, and it's just the two of us. And I don't want to hold him up too long in case he needs to leave and do what he wants to do for the I don't know his time zone fully, but I am here, and it is what it is. So what I'm going to do is I don't know if you want me to stay a while, Toasty, and I don't know if Cool want me to continue on, but I was going to stop a while and then come back, if that's okay. Oh, Toasty, I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad to hear that today's a new day, right? And a lot of times people always say like today's a new day, but I always say that you can make a change any time of the day as well. A lot of people, good people that's coming through here, and I thank you all. I thank you all so much for giving me some of your time because I know that we all have things to do, jobs, we married, kids, and everything. Thank you, Toasty. That's so nice of you. That is so nice of you. And whatever you're doing, I got your back to come check you out and help you get to where you're trying to go, or just whoever wants to just be friends and chill and have somebody to lean on. You know. Because we're meeting people from around the world. We're sharing different things, and I got another person that I want to tell this to. I had heard this from the pastor like a couple of times. I'm just throwing this out at you, Toasty, because you just popped in. But I heard this from a pastor like two times now, and then Cool is on here. I can't pronounce Cool's right name right, so I always say Cool. And Cool's in the comment section there above you. And they said that with the situation that happened with Adam and Eve, that they blame everything solely on Eve. And I tell you, it has been like that for a long time. A lot of people have been raised up and taught to blame everything on Eve, but I think that they both have equal parts in it. And I don't say it often because a lot of people don't believe in that, and they keep down a lot of controversy. I agree to disagree, or I just don't even mention it at all, so that people don't get rubbed the wrong way. Even though when you're trying to speak true of yourself and spread God's word, it doesn't matter what anybody thinks. But I try not to be too abrasive, if that makes sense. And I don't know how long you want to stay in here, Toasty, and Cool, how long you want to hang around. But if you guys got something you need to do or something to get into, I don't want to hold you. And with that being said, I'll go and take care of a few things I need to take care of myself. And this is going to be running, so anybody can go, come, do what they want. I don't care if you got 5 minutes, 2 minutes. I respect if you can't even come today, or it'd be months before you can come. And again, I just appreciate you guys giving me your time, because a lot of people, you know, we only got 24 hours in the day, and a lot of people, you know, they have things to do, and they try to split their time the best they can. And some people you may not hear from in a while. They may not, you know, be able to come through all the time. People get sick, and we have lives. 24 hours in a day, a lot to do. So since I don't see anybody, you know, popping up with any other conversation, I'm going to leave off for a while. I thank you guys dearly. These friendships that we're forming here are priceless, and so are you. I'll be back.